Hi, my name is Doug Dane, and I'm a consultant with the Proctor Gallagher Institute. The Proctor Gallagher Institute is an organization that was founded by Bob Proctor, and he is the world's leader in human potential and mindset. I've been a teacher, teaching people all over the world, and so we run courses and programs, teaching people really how to understand how their mind works so they can really start to achieve the results they want. We teach people why they're doing what they're doing and why they're not doing what they really want to do or are able to do. We've been given this gift, our mind. One author, Maxwell Maltz, in 1960, was doing a lot of work around self-image and psychology. In fact, he had caused a breakthrough in self-image. He said, man has a machine. He said, man's not a machine, but man has a machine that he uses. And so you've got this beautiful gift. Your mind works perfectly with absolute precision. It's an automatic mechanism, so it would probably stand to reason to figure out how the machine works if it's operating and controlling what you do. So your mind controls everything you do. This body we're walking around is just an instrument of the mind. People think of if you think of the picture of the mind, they think of the brain. So mind is not a thing, it's activity. If you really start to study energy and how energy works, everything is energy. You know, the camera I'm talking to is energy, I'm energy, this building is energy. Everything is energy, and so energy flows to and through us. And our mind is the ability to take that energy and convert it into thought. And then that thought then sends signals to our brain, which then sends signals to this thing and gives us direction and what we do. Well, what I do is I work with people to really get them to discover who they really are and what they're really capable of. So we've all been brought up with what I call a mistaken identity. We've got this mental program we call it a paradigm, and so people have rules and values and beliefs and the way that they do things drilled into them at a very young age. We go to school, we have things drilled into us at a very young age. And that mental program, like any program, controls how the mind works. And most of those beliefs we've been handed are very, very limiting about what we're capable of, how good we are, how strong we are. I mean, we can do anything that we want. And so we just, and I didn't know this, we're taught to live through our five senses. We just believe what we were told to us when we were little, and we go to school and they tell us more information and we just go, okay, that's the deal, and we just start living our life, and we live our lives very habitually without really thinking too much. And so I think it's important that you need to understand how your mind is dictating what you do. And somebody like me and many others, in fact, 50% of the population who have been through some very difficult times as a child, trauma, abuse, those kinds of things, they've got very limiting beliefs. And every once in a while, you meet somebody, you've probably met them, we all meet them, and you look at them and life is easy. And they just fly and they make it look easy and they just coast. And for those people, the paradigm of the mental program they had installed, it was never really limiting to them. And they're free, they're happy, and life is good. Very rare, but you do see it in some people. So mindset's just really important. You understand what is the mental program that was installed into you. Does it resonate or work with you? It's like installing a virus in a computer. And unfortunately, we take this mental program and we're all different. We've got this machine, but we're all different. And so that program is not going to suit everybody every single time. It's like families that have 6 children and all 6 of them turn out different. Why is that? Right? Why does one do really, really well and one then ends up in jail or something? We're all different. And so it's understanding who you are, what you are, and forming your own rules, values, and beliefs, and then living your life the way you want to live it and the way you're meant to be. Purpose is very important. The reason why is we all have a purpose. I think all of us have a feeling inside of something we want to be, do, or have. Human beings, we're goal-oriented. We want to grow. That's why we always want to do more, do better, have more, be more. Some people call that selfish, which is just ignorance. We want to grow. We hit a certain level in life and we want to go higher. And so purpose is really important. I think some people get stuck trying to find their purpose, I think their purpose actually discovers them. If you get rid of, all the mental junk and all the limiting beliefs you have, I think your purpose shows up rather than having to go look for it. I think if you're going looking for it, you're looking all over the place when it's in here. If you get rid of what's covering up, who and what you are, then the purpose comes out. And that's what happened to me. I had no idea I'd be doing what I'm doing now. Short story of my story is I got beamed into an alcoholic home through adoption, 6 months old. And these adults, these parents, were both violent alcoholics. They were beating each other and fighting. And so as a little baby boy and a little child, I grew up in that environment watching that. And alcoholism has a huge impact on people and impacts children. And so I kind of moved into that situation and grew up with that till I was 12 years old. And then looking for love and attention, which I wasn't getting home, I ended up sucked into a ring of pedophiles, Boy Scouts, sexually abused for 2 years at the ring of these 5 men. Ended in my kidnapping when I was 13. And my parents split around that time, and then got into drugs and alcohol. Landed on my feet when I was 23. I quit everything, got into business, and learned how to earn money, and that was kind of a validator for me. And so fast forward, I was 23 years old, fast forward to 39, 40. My daughter is about to arrive, and I realized I better change the way that I'm living my life. I didn't know what I didn't know. And my story came out. It was in the newspaper, on television, in newspapers, in a book. And I realized that I went through that experience to bring me to here, or I can teach people. So I'm this cognitive, experiential authority on surviving abuse, all the struggle that goes with anxiety, depression, self-doubt, second-guessing, self-abuse. And it brought me to here, and I now look at my story as a gift. I have no ill feelings towards it. It was, that happened to me, but it wasn't about me. And now I think it happened for me because I get to teach people, because a lot of people are really struggling and I can help them. I think what motivates me is the psychic income. So there's 2 forms of income. There's material income, money, but it's a psychic income of helping people. I was at a seminar once, and he was teaching us that we define ourselves as a verb. I, like you create. Steve Jobs, he invented. So I came with a word, I go, I guide. And so I guide people to see in them what I see. They can feel it, but they don't really believe it. And so I just get people to see what everybody else sees that they're afraid to express. And I get them to express it and act on it until they build their own belief, and then they start to take action and they get reaction and they become the person they're supposed to become. So what motivates me is just helping people realize their true potential and really live the life the way they're supposed to live without all this crap that's holding them back. And then young people motivate me too, because I was a young person, grew up struggling, into an adult that struggled, and then had a daughter, and I thought, I'm not gonna raise somebody that's struggling. And so I meet lots of adults that are living, or young people living in adult bodies that are still struggling. And so I like working with young people, because if I can get them to see who they really are, and they don't spend the next 10, 20, 30 years like I did trying to figure it out. So that's very inspiring too. The individual's limiting beliefs and self-image is a huge obstacle. And that image they have of themselves was created by other people, their parents and teachers and people around them. So that's an obstacle. Ignorance is an obstacle, and ignorance is just simply lack of awareness. So I work with people, and they live with people and have people in their lives who really don't understand or are aware of how their mind works and how it's controlling them and how their self-image is controlling them. And so people around them tend to become obstacles because we've grown up with a huge fear of criticism. So even when we go to make our move and go off and try to do what we want to do and follow our purpose, we have people around us that are going, like, what are you thinking? You can't do that. Who the hell do you think you are? All this, their own mental junk gets piled on to you. And so those are some of the obstacles. But I think through persistence and time, people, they discover it. And I think we all feel it inside. It's like a flame, and it burns. Sometimes it brightens up and you go, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then it flickers back down again. But I don't think it ever goes out. It's like one of those birthday candles you can't blow out, And we need to pay attention to that. And I think a lot of people end up at the end of their life on their deathbed and they go, oh, I missed that opportunity. So I just try to get people to see it. They feel it, I just kind of lighten it up to a point where it's bright enough where they'll take a risk with some courage and they'll act. And then they get a reaction, cause and effect, action, reaction. And all you need is a little bit of a reaction to your action to confirm, yeah, I'm on the right track. So I try to get people to take the road less traveled. I was reading an essay by Thomas Trotter, it's called Yourself. He said, surely it's easier to be oneself than to be somebody else. Yet that's what some people do, is they struggle and strain trying to be somebody else. And we were raised that way to, fit certain, almost fit into a box. And if you followed the rules, you were praised, rewarded, and if you broke the rules, you were punished and criticized, some very, very badly. And so I think being yourself means just realizing who you are and living life the way you want to live it. And we try to do that when we're little. When we're little we start to fight back. And we go, no, because we want to assert ourselves. And then in the teenage years, we start to do it again. And our parents say we're rebelling teenagers and we're fighting back. I think you're not fighting back. I think you're trying to express who you are, because the box that you've been stuck in, it doesn't fit for you. And you want to get out of the box. And then around mid-20s it happens again, and then around 40 you have a midlife crisis, and then then you die. I think people are stuck in a box, and that box there's a great story. It's called a pumpkin in a jar. And a farmer took a pumpkin, a small pumpkin, he put it into a jar, and the pumpkin grew to the shape of the jar. And it grew no farther than the jar. And that we're all like pumpkins in a jar. So we got to break the jar and just keep on growing. One routine I wish everybody did would be to get out of bed every day and feed their mind and develop their mind like they take care of their body. Every morning we get up, we brush our teeth, we shower. Many people go to the gym and exercise, go for walks. We do all kinds of things to take care of our physical bodies. We do all kinds of things to take care of our physical things in our life. We'll spend all kinds of money fixing our cars and fixing our homes and wearing nice clothes. We spend very little time and very little money on developing this thing. And Earl Nightingale, he said, we've been given these great gifts, and the greatest gifts we've been given are free, and our mind is this beautiful gift. And so we need to develop, we've got mental muscles. And so we need to go to the gym every day and exercise our mind to really realize what we're capable of, what we can create, how we're holding ourselves back. So that's what I teach people to do, is try to get them to study every day how you work and how your mind works and how this whole universe works, because it all works precisely by law. And if you follow the law, you win. If you break the law, you lose. Don't break the law.